This is going to be fun, or depending on who's watching this, very scary. Let's rate the customer service of online vinyl retailers in 2024. I've been buying vinyl online for probably over 20 years, and I've had some great experiences and I've had some pretty bad experiences, as I'm sure we all have. You get dented corners, you get damaged records in the mail, you get scratched records that were brand new when you bought them. All kinds of different things can happen when you're buying things online, especially when dealing with a medium like vinyl records and then putting it through the savagery that is the US Postal Service or UPS or FedEx. They do not care about your packages. Doesn't matter how much you write fragile on them, they will toss those things into their trucks as soon as possible and then throw them right on your front lawn in a sprinkler or whatever. So it's not always the retailer's fault, but sometimes it is the retailer's fault. And really it's about the customer service and how you get handled after the fact of what really makes a difference here. And so we're going to go over some of these companies and we're going to shine a light on some of the very bad ones. And we're going to shine a light on some of the very good ones. And the purpose here is not to just say that these companies are great and these companies are bad and you should buy from them and you shouldn't buy from them, because as you're going to see, it's not necessarily as simple as that. With all of that being said, mistakes are going to happen. And when they do, who handles it the best? So let's pull out the tier list here and actually rank these companies and see who you can trust with your pieces of vinyl. In my opinion, the absolute worst place for you to buy vinyl records online is BlueNote.com. It's actually handled by Universal Music Enterprises. So Universal Music Enterprises is who goes into the fail category, in my opinion. The reason why is because they do not have customer service. It is all automated bots. You will not get one human that you will talk to if you have any issues, either with damaged records, late shipments, or the biggest thing is if you go to check out with something that says that it's in stock and then it's actually not in stock, it can hang up your entire order. And this could mean that you're waiting for another repress of another Tone Poet or Blue Note Classic series. Now, this one here, and one of the reasons why they're first also, is exactly what I was mentioning. This isn't meant to just crap on them and say that they're horrible and you should never use them. I love Blue Note and I love the Blue Note Classic series and the Tone Poet series, and so I want them to continue making this stuff. The problem is I will never ever again buy it directly from them. They fortunately get this stuff out to many different distributors, and as we're going to see here, some of these other distributors have way better customer service and even are way cheaper to get these records from. Another one here that we're going to put into the fail category is Interscope Records. Now, I have not directly dealt with them, but I reached out to some friends in the vinyl community, specifically Concert Buddy, to see what ones he felt were in the fail category.
Hot take mode, because warning, this is a hot take mode. This is so hot. I've got the oven mitt and I've got the handle mitt. So I am ready for this.
And basically all of the things that I have an issue with Universal Music Enterprises is the same thing that he has the problem with Interscope. They have really bad shipping. They have really bad customer service. According to him, if you have issues with trying to get records back from them, it's a problem. And yet again, you can get records of theirs from other places, so you might as well go and get them there and not deal with their horrible customer service. So these are our two fail tiers. All these other companies can sleep well knowing that they are not on the fail tier category. The next one here that we're going to move into the C tier is the Warner Music Group, and more specifically Rhino Records. Now, I'm putting them in the C tier because I'm really pretty sure that they are very similar to Universal Music Enterprises and things like that, in the sense that they are mostly automated and they do not have humans answering your emails when you have issues with their records. I've also heard a lot of people say that they've gotten bad packages from them. I did get a bad package from them, but luckily my vinyl record was okay. I will say that it's very risky when you're dealing with something like the Black Sabbath self-titled, and there's only 5,000 of them pressed and they sold out super quick, and now they're going to ship it in a very bad mail mailer and you get it and it might be damaged. Now what? Now you have to deal with some kind of weird customer service person or not person, most likely a bot. And the reason I say that they might have bots there is because a friend of mine placed the order for the Black Sabbath at the exact same time that I did. And we were both delayed on the order because they got severely delayed on trying to get these copies out. Shocker, 5,000 copies of Black Sabbath self-titled is going to sell out. Go figure. So they weren't prepared for that. They weren't prepared for getting any of this out there, which is another reason why they're on the C tier here. We were getting automated messages that were very similar to each other, but just had like different line items as the top one. In both cases, because there was a delay, we were given a 10% off discount. That's probably the only reason why I'm not putting them into the complete fail category. 10% is usually what most websites will give you when you actually sign up as a customer on the account anyway. So I don't really look at that as a very big discount. And I know what you might be saying, hey, that's kind of crap. I mean, it is a discount, but you know what? No, I mean, I'm holding these companies to a higher standard here. At least I'm trying to, and I'm trying to get it to the point where we're actually dealing with human beings here, because records are valuable and records are fragile. And so when you're shipping these things and there's a problem with them, I would like to be able to talk to a person and know that there's a person on the other line who's actually going to try to handle my order. Another company that I'm also going to put into the C tier category here is the Sound of Vinyl. Here's what I can say about the Sound of Vinyl. It is a weird company, and it's great that you can get things from them so cheap. If you're not familiar, Sound of Vinyl will sometimes do these ridiculous sales, like you only have to pay shipping and you can get like all your records free, or they'll do like 45% off sales on everything in the store, including Tone Poet and Blue Note Classic Series Vinyl, another place that you can get those things for a way cheaper price. Now, here's the thing. I have never had an issue with getting things from them. However, I've also never gotten a proper, shipping notification from them either. I place orders with them and then the orders show up at my house before I ever even get a shipping notification from them. Now, that just tells me that the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, and it scares me if there's ever going to be some kind of problem in the future, and I'm sure that there's not human beings on the other side dealing with things there. I could be completely wrong, and if I am wrong about any of these companies, and if you have strong opinions about this stuff, definitely let me know in the comments below, and if you're enjoying any of this stuff, definitely subscribe to this video so that you can see more ridiculous things like these list videos, right? Another one that I'm going to take and put into the C tier category here is Target. And the reason why is because Target does not have a very good selection of vinyl records. And I know what most people are thinking, well, of course, it's a department store. Why would it? They do have some pretty cool exclusives sometimes, like Nirvana Unplugged they have on the purple edition, which I got at Target. You're most likely not dealing with a human when you're dealing with Target, as we're going to get into with some of these other companies here. However, because it is a big chain store, you can just take your record right back into the store and get a refund or a credit to go get something else in the store that you're probably going to end up needing anyway. Or you could send it back, to their marketplace online and get an exchange for anything else. I have bought a few records from them that have come in scratched, and I've never had any issues with doing just a straight up exchange for it. Now, whether or not you're going to get the record in good condition when you get it from them or things of that nature, it is what it is. However, you can keep going through that process over and over again, and I would keep doing it because I don't care about taking Target's money. They don't care about taking my money. And so this is what we're going to get into with the next tier here. I think the next one here would be Walmart, and I'm going to put them in the B tier category. Walmart actually does have a better selection of records. If you go online, you can actually get things like the OJC stuff, or you can get Fela Kuti records from them, or you can even find Blue Note Classic Series or Tone Poet. Again, another place to go get those. But again, you are not dealing with a human being when you're dealing with customer service with them. Everything is through bots because it's just such a giant system. But one good thing about it is you can take your record right back to a store and get a return there. I've both had to do returns with in-store records that I bought from Walmart as well as online records. And in both cases, they handled my return, no questions asked. They, in both cases, offered to either do an exchange if they had the item in stock or give me a full refund if not. Again, because we're talking about a giant corporation monolith like Walmart, I will sit there and send the record back over and over again until I get a good one because they will handle it and they will handle those returns. So in that case, I do put them in the B tier for customer service. I also would put Amazon in that same tier for basically all the exact same reasons. I actually buy a lot of records from Amazon because they often have sales, and I can say they have gotten better about the mailers that they ship stuff in. A lot of times I've been getting things from them and there's a mailer within a box, and the box is actually nicely wrapped up too. So that's pretty cool. I mean, there are definitely horror stories of Amazon just like putting a shipping label on your record and shipping it to you. And that's horrible. And we should never, ever have to deal with that. But they've gotten better. And I feel like maybe because of videos like these, where people are trying to hold these companies accountable, that's why they've heard and have made a better effort to get the record to you safely. I had some issues getting the Tompo Blue Train. I had to send it back 5 different times to get that corrected. And it was mostly because record 2 was either just warped. One time it came in with a double label on it. I talked about it in a previous video. It definitely didn't make me feel bad having to send it back to Amazon over and over again. And that's just the way it's going to be. You know, like they're not going to treat me like a human. So I'm not really going to treat them like a human company either. You know, I never get to speak to a human being when I'm dealing with Amazon. So I'm just going to return my stuff and I will get a new one sent in. The cool thing is with both Amazon and Walmart, and why they're in the B tier for this part, they will send your new record out to you before you have to ship your old record back. They usually give you like 2 months or even 3 months sometimes to ship your damaged record back, but they will send your new one immediately, like within a day or two. This next one's going to be a little bit controversial. I'm going to put Music Direct into the B tier. And I know a lot of people might be like, oh, dude, what's up with that? Look, I will say this. The fact that they handle Shop Pay is awesome. I've never had to actually deal with them in a negative customer service scenario, so I don't know how they treat their customers. But what I will say is they are closely affiliated with Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab, and I'm pretty sure they're like, if not the same company, in the same way that Analog Productions and Acoustic Sounds are like the same company. And for that, I have to put them in the B tier. This is a company that was not honest with their customers. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the records that they put out don't sound as good as they used to or anything like that. I'm sure the records sound absolutely amazing. I'm sure Abraxas is one of the greatest record pressings of all time. The fact that they lied to their customers and the fact that they told their customers that all these things were one steps when really there's a digital step involved in all these things, that's just not cool. And Music Direct is kind of involved in that because they are the retail chain of Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. So just because of all of that dishonesty, I have to put them down into a B tier. Maybe one day they can get back up into the A or the S tier, but for now they're in the B tier. And if you don't like that, let me know in the comments below in a very spirited way why you don't like that. One of the first A tier companies that we'll get into is the InGroove. Mike from the InGroove in Phoenix, Arizona is probably one of the best places that you can buy records online. And I will always value his reviews that he makes on YouTube, as well as the recommendations that he makes for like his top 100 audiophile records of all time. Not to mention, he will offer to clean your records for you, although you do have to pay an extra service for that. And if the record is brand new, you'll have to obviously open it so that he can clean it for you. There aren't many people that I trust more in the vinyl community more than Mike. He's actually one of the people that broke the entire Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab thing, and he actually went there and interviewed them and asked them point blank, do you guys do a digital step? And they said yes, and he basically was just kind of like laughing at them in their face. But what I really like about him with that is that he still carries Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab, and he still believes that Abraxas is one of the best pressings of all time. He's not going back on his thoughts about how the stuff sounds, and all of that rings really true from a customer standpoint. When I've watched his reviews on like what is the best Dark Side of the Moon or what is the best Black Sabbath self-titled, he is extremely knowledgeable on them and has more copies of these records than most people do. And he's listening to them on an amazing system. So I trust a lot of the things that he's saying. Another thing is that I bought from the In-Groove on Discogs as well, and he gives great deals and prices on there, and the communication is amazing. He holds a lot of these companies to account, and I really, really respect him for that. Anytime that I've ever ordered from the In-Groove, it has come like within a day. And so it's great. Like really they should technically just be an S tier, but I've really only reserved that for one of these companies, as we're going to see here. And I know that you're all very excited to find out which company that is, but you'll see why we get to that in a little bit. The next one I'm going to go with here in the A tier is Vinyl Me Please. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Rocco, you're just a shill for Vinyl Me Please. And of course, you're going to put them in the A tier because you make all these videos for them and they pay you and yada, yada, yada. First of all, they do not pay me. I'm not an employee of theirs in any way. I am a fan of theirs. I like their service. I like their pressings. And I like their customer service. That's one of the main reasons why I've continued to renew my subscription for more than 1 year, is the customer service. Because I have had issues with their records. I've had scratched records. I've had dented records. I even started the series about the records of the month to keep track of the records that I'm getting from them and find out quality control wise, like how bad is it really? Am I getting a bad record every single month? And I can say for the most part, no, I haven't. I've gotten a couple here or there. The reason why they are A tier is because for as big of a company as you might think they are, there are only 17 people that work at Vinyl Me Please. And not all 17 people work in customer service. So the fact that they do handle what they handle is absolutely phenomenal. And I was feeling a little bit negative on their customer service for a while, like in the first year that I was using them, mainly because of the idea that you don't always get to talk directly to someone. You do get to talk to a human being. You are not getting automated messages from them. And I've tested this in the past. I've sent messages to them specifically asking and saying things that like I'm looking for an answer for, which I've done with Warner and I've done with Blue Note as well. And I get an automated response back from those companies. From Vinyl Me Please, they've actually referenced the things that I'm talking about, which really shows me that whoever it is that's coming back to me in the customer service email is a real person. And I can actually trust that I can get some things from this person and get some answers from them. I had thought, because of how great their marketing is and how many emails come out a month and how awesome their website is, and also relatively how well I'm getting the records each month and how many records they're pressing. They have up to 5 tracks now, not including the Dolly Parton track, and they're putting out different box sets, and there's only 17 people that work there. So that to me is amazing and simply a reason enough why I've put them as the A tier. They run a very small team and a very small ship, but they will listen to you. There is a guy who works there. His name is @Paulium. If you see him on Discord, or you might see him around on like YouTube and things like that, he's, I think, their head of customer service. And that guy genuinely cares about vinyl and about you getting vinyl and you getting vinyl from them and being happy about it. I got to have a conversation with him and hang out with him with Nadine from At Soul Disco on a live stream one time. And he is just extremely genuine. Like, he's a really nice guy and he actually cares about customer service. And I've worked in customer service. You don't always get people that care about it that much. He goes above and beyond, and I think it's really awesome. So again, it's another reason why I think Vinyl Me Please should be in the A tier for customer service. So the next one that we're going to go for here is Acoustic Sounds, and they, in my opinion, go into the A tier. They could be in the S tier, and we'll get into a couple of the reasons why I did not put them into the S tier, but Acoustic Sounds is absolutely amazing. Chad Kasem absolutely cares about vinyl and cares about you getting vinyl and quality vinyl, and his entire team is absolutely phenomenal. When you have any issues with UHQR records, there's a guy named Bud who will handle your emails personally. We probably have all dealt with Bud at some point. He is amazing. And they also have the best mailers in the business, the absolute best mailers. These mailers here are so amazing to get your vinyl records in, and they'll ship one single record in this thing. And then if you have a giant box set or something like that, they give you a really nice bigger one with a handle on it. They're pressing for lots of other companies and doing all this stuff and getting your stuff out there. Now, I will say that one of the issues with them is their website. Their website is ancient and they really do need to get it updated. It works. It's perfectly fine. And I will say this too. I do not envy anybody trying to make a vinyl record website. There are so many records out there. How do you sort things? How do you put stuff up? How do you always keep things, accurate and things of that nature? So I don't envy them at all for that. But I will say their architecture for that website is old at this point. There are times where I've placed orders and my orders don't show up in my order history from there. So I'm afraid that the order didn't go through. But this is the great thing about their customer service. You can call them and someone will actually answer the phone and talk with you. Now, they did have a little bit of an issue when they announced the Bob Marley UHQRs and their website completely melted down and their phone system completely melted down. But it was what it was, and it happened for like 2 days. That all being said, 2 days after that, you could still get Bob Marley Exodus on their website. No problem. I tried. Like I was testing it out 2 days after I got it just to see if all the FOMO that I was going through was ridiculous. And yeah, it was. If I would have just waited 2 days, I could have went right onto the website and put one into my cart and checked out perfectly fine. And that was 2 days after the announcement. The next company that I'm putting into the A tier is Craft Recordings. And that's because Craft is really awesome with their offerings and the fact that they give great sales on some of these amazing offerings like the Craft One Steps and things of that nature. I have also had very easy dealings with them. Another thing that's really nice about them is that they get their stuff out there to other companies. You can get stuff from Craft on Amazon, on Walmart. You can get the OJCs on Amazon or on Walmart. You can get, a lot of the Latin series things that they have on all these different places. So that's cool that they sell those things in other places. And then it's cool that they have the One Steps at cheaper prices. I have never had an issue placing an order with them and getting an order from them. And when they've come in, it's come in safe and very secure. So, but I don't know if you're directly dealing with human beings with their customer service. I'm sure that you're getting a lot of automated messaging there. So maybe we'll say that they're kind of like in the middle between like A tier and B tier. Because I will say they're not on the same tier level as Vinyl Me Please, The In-Groove, or Acoustic Sounds. But they do deal a lot with all three of those companies, so they're kind of there. That's kind of why I put them there. So again, I'm just going to move them back. It's my list. I don't care. If you fight me about it, yell at me in the comments below. I'm putting them as A tier. Now, this leaves the last S tier company, and I only wanted to make one S tier company because there's only one that I think that goes in there, and that is Plaid Room Records. PlaidRoomRecords.com is, in my opinion, the absolute best place that you can buy records from online in 2024. They will get things from Analog Productions. You can buy UHQRs from them. They constantly have an amazing used section that is updated. I mean, I have no idea how they get it updated so fast. Their website works so well. Their website works amazingly well on extremely busy days like Record Store Day, which I know that on their Record Store Day, it's like insanity at their place. And the reason why I put them as the S tier here is because not only are they so amazing with Plaid Room, which is the record store, but they also have Coal Mine Records, which is one of the best independent record labels out there right now. And if you're not familiar with Coal Mine, if you're not familiar with any of the music from there, you should go there right now and listen to some of the music and check it out. It is just phenomenal. They have so many great artists. They have so many great imprints. They also put out exclusives for other labels like Big Crown or Daptone Records. And a lot of this stuff is like funk, soul, groove, some rock, some blues, a little bit of country. Like all this stuff is just really awesome, really good groove music. And the guys that work there are very cool, and they have a super small team. I'm pretty sure they have less people working there than any of the other companies that I mentioned so far here. And their customer service is top notch. If you order from them, your order will ship within 24 hours. If you get a large order from them, I made a video about this before, you get this amazing like suspended packaging from them, which is just really great, especially because I ordered like 8 Tone Poets at once and I was making sure that they weren't like crushed when I got them. Their customer service is fantastic. And the fact that they're also running a very awesome independent record label with new artists that are coming out right now, new records that are coming out right now. They even have promo records, which is really, really sick too. And it's something that I don't see other record labels doing right now. Like they're like the traditional white label promo, you know, this is not for sale kind of thing. It's very cool. And so we're going to be talking about more of their promo records in the future. And we're going to be doing a lot more things with Plaid Room Records in the future on this channel. But just know that if you ever need to get vinyl records, Plaid Room Records is definitely the best place that you can trust for awesome customer service online in 2024 and probably beyond to get vinyl records from. So I'm sure that this list has some controversy going on here. I'm sure that you might disagree or agree with some of these things. Please let me know in the comments. Let's get a dialogue going. Let's hold some of these companies accountable. Again, my goal here is not to say that these fail companies should never be ordered from. I am going to be ordering from Universal Music Group essentially because I'm going to be buying Blue Note, Tone Poet, and Classic Vinyl Series things from them. I won't be getting it from BlueNote.com, but I will be getting it from other places like Amazon or Walmart in the B tier. So this is not just to say to dunk on these companies, but let me know in the comments what are some awful situations you've had or some great situations. I know that there are some other amazing companies out there, and I'll throw some names out there right now. Like I'm sure Noble Records is awesome. I'm sure NTX Vinyl is awesome. I have directly dealt with Big Crown Records and Daptone Records. And like I said, when you're getting into a little bit of the smaller places, you get a lot more ma and pa customer service feel, which I actually like when dealing with vinyl records because people will be a lot cooler with the situation, especially if you get like a damaged record or something like that. If you enjoyed this video, you're probably going to enjoy some of the other videos on the channel, like these ones here. I'm going to go listen to some awesome vinyl that I got from Plaid Room Records, and I will see you on the next one.